Welcome to the Pawn Sacrifice channel and the 924S Turbo build. There is a link if you want to get caught up on the shenanigans and everything that's come before, the highs and lows and ups and downs that I was going to say across the whole thing, but quite frankly even sometimes in one instalment. So there we are. It's a bit of a weird time at the moment. We're all in lockdown. What I might be doing is just putting out some shorter videos just to keep things going. I think this is going to be a bit of therapy for me while I'm in lockdown, to be honest. So yes, thank you for watching. I have actually been quite busy in terms of getting ready for this. I've restocked my argon cylinder, which thankfully had run out. I have ordered some electrical bits and pieces and some wire. To be honest, this box was spools of wire and I thought it was going to be about that big, but hopefully that'll be sufficient. And here I've got a big box of stuff for making boost, and I've even been practicing my welding. So that was aluminium, obviously didn't go so well. That got a little bit better, and actually by the end it was starting to go okay. It seems to be a bit hit and miss. I'm having some problems. Having bought the particular welder that I've got, that one, for the foot pedal, and that doesn't seem to be working, and I can't imagine I'm going to be getting that fixed anytime soon because the company's in Germany. I need to just double check and triple check and make sure that I'm not doing something stupid, because I don't have mad welding skills and this is all a bit new to me, to be honest. So what was I saying? Oh yes, one other thing I want to do, something a bit different, just to start off, and this is more in line with the fact that I guess most of the people, regardless of where you're watching this, are going to be stuck inside a lot more, not able to get out. I'm quite fortunate to have the car and stuff on site and a lot of the things that I need, so I'm going to be carrying on with that. But in case you are stuck, what I thought I'd do is just open with a, to steal from the Weekly Planet podcast, which is a movies and comic book type thing, a what you're reading, what you're going to read type scenario. Hopefully they won't sue me for using their exact name. And this is, I'm just going to run through a list and I'll kind of explain what things are. But I thought I'd share some of the channels and things that I'm watching. Quite a few of these are well known, so I suspect you would have heard of them. There's some really big ones which everyone will go, oh, what about this one? But there's massive channels which I'm not going to mention. These are, some of them are pretty well known, but anyway, here we go. So first of all is Bad Obsession Motorsport, which is a couple of English guys from the sort of West Country, Nick and Rich. Very entertaining. They're essentially taking a classic Mini and shoehorning a Toyota GT4, so the Group A car, engine and running gear in that. That's been quite ongoing. There's loads of content there for you. They're professionals, they know what they're doing, but they still kind of talk you through things as they go, explain what they're doing, and what else? Yeah, and quite often in the same way that I do, where I'll do something and then think, oh, that's not good enough, or I could have done that better, and then go back and do it again. There's so much of that with them. So they're really good. Skid Factory, so this is an Australian one. These are, again, they're professional guys, but it's really interesting. They do explain in detail what they're doing and how they're doing it. They've been a really big help for me, so if you like this sort of thing, particularly with engine builds and that sort of stuff, they take you through it in detail. So that's Alan Woody. It's a spin-off of from Mighty Car Mods. You might know them if you've seen any of those. It's Turbo Yoda basically. From that, there's quite a bit of, there's now become this interplay between Bad Obsession and Skid Factory, which is quite entertaining if you are watching both of those, so they're really good. Somebody else that I found out about when I was starting looking at stuff for this was, I don't quite know how you're supposed to pronounce the name of this, but there'll be a thing on screen there, is Sarah and Tuned, which is Sarah-N-Tuned. She's ex military, I think it's Air Force, basically out in the US, and exactly the same as me. She's gone out, got cars, and started doing projects. Very funny in what she does, and she's doing very regular content there. She's got an MR2, which she's done a lot of work on restoring, an Audi TT, and she's trying to do a Ford Focus starter rally car type thing, which is which is really good, very entertaining. Go over there. You'll similar to mine. You'll see a lot of ups and downs, and she's very honest about what she does and her estate. So yeah, go there and be nice. I'm sure she'll appreciate the company while she's locked indoors. Petrol blog. This one's a bit different. It's more just a guy I know from through Twitter and car blogs and stuff, and we've kind of done I've done some content for his blog and what have you, and this is Gav, and it's just, if you like old, slightly crap, probably French cars, he's just started doing a channel around that, so it's interesting. That one you might want to sample. The Gunman, this is not some rootin' tootin' cowboy. This is a guy, I won't say in Australia, although he's basically moved around, who does paint stuff. Really honest about what he does, shows you how, I mean, you could take his videos and go and do the things that he does. You couldn't really, because he's so good at what he does. But yeah, that's been that's been really interesting in terms of watching that. There's another one, Car Pervert. So this is probably the most famous one on here, although it's a new channel, and this is a guy called Johnny Smith, who used to be on Fifth Gear. Haven't really seen a lot of his content yet, to be honest, but what I liked about him, even when he was on telly, even when he was doing the big stuff and was working with the big names, he never had an ego to him. Just really great guy, great content, so I'm expecting big things, so that's a bit of an outsider. Retro Power, these guys are professionals, and the interesting thing with this is, and I know people like it, some of what I do, because I don't know what I'm doing, but these guys, you get to see a lot of, these are how they make the decisions, and this is how they make something beautifully engineered. The one to start with, I would say, is Gordon Murray's Escort. So I think it's a Mark II Ford Escort that they did from it. It's just absolutely incredible. The engineering on it is just absolutely ridiculous. So definitely recommend that. So Gordon Murray as well, if you don't know him, he used to design racing cars and the McLaren F1. So that gives you an idea of the kind of bar that they're having to live up to. Another one, which was somebody that helped me a lot. Haven't watched a lot of his stuff lately, to be honest, but Offbeat Garage is just a young guy in the States, and just really interesting watching what he's doing. His attention to detail, the way that he works is really good. And it's not on my list, but another one which I've just thought of is the Fabrication series. Can't remember the guy's name, also in Vegas. And he's just really good at, again, showing what you do, showing how you weld, and if you are local, when we're all out of lockdown, you can go and have welding lessons with him. So yeah, just a slight digression to start with. What I do is I'll put links for all of the channels below, but yeah, just some material there if you might be a bit bored. So anyway, back to business. And we are, so the other week I did the battery relocation, in the sense of I built a box. I'll put the link up for the video there, but essentially in the back of the car is there's two wells, one on either side, and I've just built basically a holder for the battery there. I still need to make a cover or something to go over the top, but that's then vented outside, which we need. So what I need to do now is essentially run this, or make this cable up, and run this cable from back to front for that. And I'm not entirely sure what that bit's for. I think that's just thrown in there for good measure. And then we've got the ground wire, so that will go back, probably attached to the rear rails, so I just need to put a bolt in there for that to go to, and then that will essentially earth the whole car. And at the front there, this is for the live, so essentially what you do, and I might have a look if there's another way of, actually no, there isn't another way of doing this, I don't think. So what I'll do is essentially bring the red one down. This will go on the front of the firewall, and essentially the a wee spider. Come on. There you go. Yeah, so that will go on the firewall, the cable will connect there, and essentially this will be a terminal that the original cable will connect onto. So that is all good. There's a fuse there as well. And yeah, I need to check a couple bits, but yeah, I hopefully we'll get through this, depending on how we do for time. Although I'm about 11 minutes in, I haven't done anything yet. I suspect this will be this video. There's a couple other bits I might need to do, but yeah, so let's get on and see how much damage I can do this time. First thing, I need to just get this undone. So, not for the first time, plan A in this project has gone to cock. So what I'm going to do is, I think the rail seems to come up on the side. I'm really struggling to get through it from the inside here, just breaking drill bits there. So what I'm going to do is try and go down through the top, and hopefully I'll be able to hit something there. So I'm just going to drill a little exploratory pilot hole just to see what's what. I'm well out of the way of everything. Okay, so that's gone through. That feels like it's going to be nice and thick. When a short distance down, there is something else there. Oh my god, how narrow is that? What I might do is just punch through that. Do I want to do that? Yeah, I might just go through that as well. Actually no, I'm not. I'm just going to do this top bit, see if it's okay. If not, what I might try then is drilling through the second layer as well and just get a bolt that's long enough so that it's getting 2 contact points. But I'm hoping that this is going to be enough. So what I will do is drill it out so that it'll take the riv nut, but I'll also then clean the surface down as well. So let's get on with that. Okay, so I've got a little hole drilled there, sanded off around it to get better contact around the edge through to the riv nut, which will obviously go up, and when that's done that will then be pinching on the other side. Please don't put the right size one in. There you go. So that'll then connect nicely onto there, and yeah, good. You can't see through, but if I pop this in, there's another metal bar just underneath there. So what I might try and do is get a bolt that will go down, so tap that in, go down, and then make contact on the other side as well. All I've done there is just cut out, or drilled and then cut, a little tab that will go around the riv nut or nutsert or whatever you want to call it at the back, and essentially that will help just increase the contact area. So let me just see if I can show you. So essentially, without this, that's the contact area. Can you see that? We've focused in there. Light's a bit rubbish, but you can see there's a bit of an overlap, whereas this now, and if this isn't right, I'll just go on and make another one. That's essentially going to give me a much bigger contact area, and then this will obviously also be contacting the car body there. So that's that. Where are we now? We are now in a position to sort out the negative cable. So I've got a couple of bits that I need to do. I need to first of all attach the end that connects to the battery. So essentially this bit, the terminal, this just screws in. So I just need to strip that back and then get that screwed in. That is that end. So the only other thing I'm going to need to do with this is on here, and I'll do this later, is just attach the trickle charger. So there we go, this one nice and neat in there, and back on me. So the next bit then is to attach the terminal end that this is going to bolt down to. So that is, there's going to be less of that on there. Okay, so that's all good. And to get this all hooked up, yet another toy, yet another thing. So these are some hydraulic crimpers. Let's see who they're made by. Doesn't say, which is a shame, because it's a bit disappointing. They already look a bit rusty. Yeah, that's a shame. So I need to find, right, what size is this? Bang go. Oh, damn. Don't drop. This then goes back through. So I've got the right size thingies in there, and then so there's a dial on here, so that says on and off. So I'll assume turn that on to on. This is the big learning experience for me, as you can tell. So there we go, that is nicely crimped on there. That one end is all set. Assume this stuff, although it's massive compared to the cable, I think that is heat shrink. So there we go, that's one made up, so let's have a look and see it fitted, hopefully. Okay, so I have a bolt which I have strategically trimmed off camera. I know, bad YouTuber. So I've got my little plate in place. I am now going to pop this through, and the reason for getting the bolt just so is it will now, once this is done up, essentially go through here and then make contact and conduct the electrics through the sill, the piece below. Have to do it this way round. Well, you'll see why in a sec. So that's starting to tighten. So I'll need to do something about that. Well, I don't need to, but I will just put something to cover that up, as much to protect the terminal as anything else. So here we are about a week later. The reason being that it's been that long is this is the wrong side, or the cable's too short. It's only marginally too short, probably by about, I don't know, 100mm, maybe 200mm. The reason being is I want to run it sort of across and then down the inside of the car. I can't see this ever happening, but it would fit if I ran it all the way down the outside sill of the car. But really, what I don't want to do is have, if the worst happened and there was a side impact and the side of the car were to crease in, obviously if this is running down the side of it, that's going to get pulled and things are going to get yanked all over the place. And so, planning for worst case scenario, I managed to get some more. So this arrived yesterday, I think it was actually. So that's arrived, it's been desanitized and everything, as with the current climate. So I just need to transfer this section over and then I can have a look and try and see exactly where this is going to be routed and cut its size and hopefully see exactly where everything's going to fit. So there we go. So that's obviously where the anchor point is. I want it to come down here, I think across then to the centre and then back down into the darkness of the footwell. So I think what I'm going to need to do first of all is get all of that carpeting out. So coming from the back, it'll go underneath where the back seat was, along the base of the transmission tunnel. It has to go under the seatbelt mount and miss the two seat mounting points there, down on the bottom, and then I'm not sure, I might run it up across the top there. There's a heater outlet just there, which I'm probably going to obviously want to avoid, either that or across the floor. Regardless of where it does, I think this is pretty much the right length that I want it. So I need to get this trimmed off and get the kit out for the fuse. So this is just being absolutely horrible, to be honest. So I'm just going to get this on for the time being as is, and then I'm going to have to I'm going to try and find another big fuse kit, because although this was supplied as part of a kit, it just doesn't seem to fit at all. Let me have a look. Okay, so after lots of messing about, that is my fuse. Okay, I have spent a lot of time pondering exactly how this is going to go together. What I had set up is to bring the cable that comes out of the big fuse thing, which is inside, and I don't know where I'm going to put that, up through here, out where the other cables were going, and then just mount the little box on the front. But, and there's always a but, I think I may be able to do this better. What I need to do is go away and have a look at the wiring diagrams for the 924 engine layout and everything. I mean, for instance, I think this is redundant now because I think that, so what I might have a look at is working that back, removing everything from the fuse box side that I don't need. It's going to be a big job. Hopefully I know what I'm doing, but I want to try and work out that and everything else, and maybe even just wire the mains up inside through there, and then just bring the power supply out for the starter once it's all hooked into the new wiring room. So it's been a bit of an odd episode with the start and all the stripping the bits of the car out. I'm probably going to carry on just taking bits of trim and stuff out as and when. Oh, the one thing I should mention with the aerosol stuff that I showed that I used to remove, it's really good, but it's not very kind to paint and stuff, and I'm going to be redoing or tidying up bits of the interior at some point, so I'm not too worried about that, but please don't go sticking it on or using it on anything nice. So that's pretty much it. I think next time, unless I get a lot of complaints in the comments, I'm going to do, I think, probably some podcasts and things, because that's what I'm doing at the moment, and that's devouring a lot of my time, listening to people's podcasts. So maybe add a few of those, and I think I need to do research on the wiring, so that's probably going to take a little bit of a back seat. I've got some more 3D printing stuff I'm working on, but I have got things to be getting on in the engine bay, and possibly some welding. So yeah, if you made it this far, thank you for watching, and hopefully catch you before too long. Cheers.